Salam.
Salam, salam. How are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. How are you? I've got a little bit of a cold, but I'm fine, shukr.
You sound fine, my dear. Inshallah, you get better soon.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready? Should we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to do this and taking time off. I appreciate it very much.
No
Um,
problem.
and so I'm going to start by saying, what inspired you to launch Ariana Magazine and for its focus to be on Afghanistan?
Sure. I've got some of the magazines here as well. If you can have a look at. So this is the latest magazine,
Mm-hmm.
Ariana Magazine. So I initially wanted to start Ariana Magazine because I wanted to show the positive and the beautiful side of Afghanistan to the world, not just for
Mm-hmm.
Afghans, but Afghans as well, to show
Mm-hmm.
that Afghanistan and its people have so much more to provide than
Mm-hmm.
what is portrayed in mass media of war. And Afghan people have so much talent that people don't know about. Like there's doctors, there's singers, there's entrepreneurs, there's
Mm-hmm.
journalists, authors, there's actresses, there's
Yeah.
athletes, so on, that they need to be heard of in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That Afghan has such talented people and they're like everyone else. We have such a beautiful culture, we have beautiful history and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to portray that through Ariana Magazine, to portray the voice of the voiceless and to portray everyone's stories, so people, especially non-Afghans, can view Afghanistan in a different life, in a different light, in a positive light.
No, definitely, I agree with you. Especially during these times, we kind of do need a positive showcase of our country
Yeah.
because right now we're not going through a great period. So I think that's very much needed at the moment. But I want
Yeah.
to ask you, have you ever been Afghanistan yourself? Have you ever visited it?
Yeah, I have visited twice
Oh.
before, once in 2010, I believe, and once in
Mm.
2009. I
Oh.
visited, and I remember it vividly.
But what do you like from your experience? How was Afghanistan for you?
So it was a memorable experience. I will never ever forget it. Going to Afghanistan in 2009, I was like 9 years old,
Mhm.
and once we entered Kabul, Afghanistan, that's where my family is from. Everyone was clapping in the airplane, and it was like, wow, like we're all together, like as one. And we entered, so the airport, and of course, it was all different. Like the culture shock and everything is completely different to the United Kingdom. And
Mhm.
seeing all those, the mountains surrounding you, the heat during the summer, it was
Yeah.
immense. And the people, of course, the clothing, it was different to the Western clothing, and
Mhm.
it was a different sense. It was a nice feeling, like to be home, and seeing where our lives, for example, my life could have been in
Yeah.
Afghanistan. And it was great to see our culture, our people, everyone mingling and hearing the language being
Mhm.
spoken in the streets and being at home. It was great, I guess. Yeah, it was a nice experience.
Great, wonderful. And back to obviously Ariana Magazine. Why Ariana? Is it because your name is Ariana? Is it because the name is associated to the Afghanistan so much? Why Ariana?
That's a good question. It's both, to be honest. So initially, I wanted to name it a unique name because I was thinking of something that people can remember Afghanistan by, as well as it's to be unique. And Afghanistan in the ancient times, it used to be called Ariana. So around 5,000 years ago, it used to be called Ariana to describe the regions of Iran,
Mm,
uh, part of Pakistan and parts of Turkey as well.
mm-hmm.
And to showcase Afghanistan in that light, because some people do remember Afghanistan being called Ariana. Lots of things still being named after that name. For
Mm-hmm.
example, Ariana Airlines or Ariana TV and so on. So that name is still ongoing and it's heard of and it's known of. But there wasn't any being shown through a magazine. So I wanted to show Afghanistan through that light, and no better way to do that through it's being called Ariana Magazine.
Well, it's a beautiful name, so well done
Uh,
on that. But was there any other names that you considered before finalizing it that it's going to be called Ariana? Was there any other names?
There was a few, to be honest, like for example, Culture magazine, or like Travel magazine, or Safar, which was also is also called Travel in Farsi, or Dari. So
Mm-hmm.
good names, nothing major. So Ariana Magazine was a great name. I'm glad I don't regret it being called Ariana Magazine.
Great. Um, well, as you may know, that there are many other magazines about Afghanistan. That's been about Afghanistan, whether it's been political or cultural, social. But what do you think makes Ariana Magazine so different and so unique from the rest?
Yes. Initially, when I started, so I was in my second year of university. I studied at Brunel University of London. I studied journalism, and I've always been part of the Afghan culture. I used to be the president of the Brunel Afghan Society, holding events like Nowruz events, where we raise money for the less fortunate in Afghanistan, and when we provided them with a water pump in Kabul, Faisal Bey. And I've always been part of the Afghan culture. I've always been passionate about it, to show it to people, non-Afghans as well as Afghans. I always love to incorporate it in my looks, for example, like this clothing is quite Western. And so in my second year of university, I wanted to have a magazine to showcase the beautiful side of Afghanistan. And therefore, I thought of a magazine because I initially didn't think of a magazine. I didn't find a magazine then of that showcased Afghanistan or the culture. I didn't hear of any magazine until I launched it. I came from magazines that were present or were available. They stopped, continued, like I forgot their names, but they used to be present, but they stopped. So this is different to that magazines because this is ongoing. Shukr, alhamdulillah, is both digitally available, it's available in print worldwide as well, not just for the specific location here. It's written in English. So when I saw some other magazines that were about Afghanistan before, I saw that they were written in Dari or Farsi only. And so people, non-Afghans, weren't able to read it or to learn about the Afghan culture. So this Ariana magazine is different in that sense. That's also written in English. It has some parts in Pashto or Dari, but that's also translated into English. So non-Afghans or Afghans who aren't able to read in Dari or Pashto are able to receive that information. And also this magazine, as many people have said, is quite colorful and it has a variety of information and a variety of content, not just one particular content, like for example, just travel or just culture. It has a variety of things like poetry, recipes, people from different aspects of life and so on. And also this magazine is published every 2 months. And also it's 20% of the proceeds of the digital versions of Ariana Magazine goes to the less fortunate of Afghanistan. So it does continue being raised to provide them with food packs. And alhamdulillah, that's the differences of Ariana Magazine with other magazines I've come across with. And I haven't come across with any other Afghan magazines which are active at the moment. So that's another difference.
Well, I think I think you're doing a beautiful job because you're showcasing our country, Afghanistan, but at the same time you're also giving to the needy. So I think that's wonderful to be able to do both things. You're welcome. You've said that you wish to give a voice to the voiceless, and how much do you think you've managed to do that through Ariana Magazine?
I think I've managed to do that a lot, alhamdulillah, because every 2 months I've published new content and new people from different aspects of life, different backgrounds. In Afghanistan, for example, some people don't know about the minorities in Afghanistan, such as the Sikh Afghans. Afghans, for example. So I've portrayed that through Ariana Magazine. I portrayed the stories of Afghan Sikhs who fled Afghanistan, what they're doing now, for example. And so I portrayed different types of Afghans as well as non-Afghans as well, who went back to Afghanistan, such Bingsky, who is a well-known travel vlogger from America, who vlogs his travel journeys into any country he visits, and he's also visited Afghanistan twice.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm back here in Afghanistan with my buddy Noor, who you might remember last time I was here. We spent every second together, and I'm so happy to be back, man.
I'm so happy you're here again, Drew. Are you ready to go and explore the streets of Kabul?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
So I've also provided the voice from people who are non-Afghan, but also have gone to Afghanistan. So I've tried my best to provide a platform for everyone through Ariana Magazine to give their story in relationship to Afghanistan.
No, that's really amazing to hear. And it's been a year since you've launched Ariana Magazine. How has the feedback of the people been since then, and how much impact has it had?
Alhamdulillah, I can't believe it's been 1 year. Ariana Magazine, it was just 1 month ago so far. I think it's been 1 year. It's been a great impact, alhamdulillah. I've received a lot of support from my family initially, from my friends, from people on Instagram, from you as well, alhamdulillah, from people I've featured in the magazine, and non-Afghans as well, which means so much to me. For example, my social media has grown so much. People have reached out to me. There's been lots of opportunities, and I'm really thankful for every opportunity that has come my way. And it's been great to network and be in touch with such people across the globe. And I'm really thankful for Ariana Magazine, and I hope it continues to thrive for many more years, inshallah.
Inshallah. Well, you've done the hard work, so you deserve all that.
Oh, thank you so much, Diana.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, with the impact that Ariana Magazine has had, what impact has that had on you as an individual?
What do you mean as an individual?
So seeing the success that Ariana Magazine has had, and obviously you've done all the work and you've done it. So how has that made you feel as an individual? What kind of how has it motivated you? What kind of things do you want to do more now since you've seen that it's been such a success?
So alhamdulillah, I feel very grateful, and it's really developed me as a person, and it continues to develop me each day that I work in Ariana Magazine. And it's really made me grateful that we have such a network in the Afghan industry, in the Afghan community, as well as non-Afghans as well. It's made me grateful. It's been eye-opening. It's developed my knowledge amongst Afghan people about the Afghan culture, about our people, and I've gained lots of experience, lots of knowledge in this field, and it's just grown me into a person, and it has gained me lots of opportunities. And I hope to expand Ariana Magazine and bring more content out there, inshallah, whether that be through the magazine, events, or interviews, and so on.
Wonderful. You mentioned before that obviously your magazine, it's in English and therefore it's accessible for non-Afghans as well. So with that in mind, have you had non-Afghans give you feedback or opinion about Ariana Magazine? Anything that they may have said?
Yeah, of course. So lots of non-Afghans have read Ariana Magazine across the world, and I've received lots of great positive feedback, alhamdulillah, because these people haven't visited Afghanistan. And of course, Afghanistan is the most dangerous place in the world. And of course, it's reasonable why they haven't been to Afghanistan. So these people have been able to see Afghanistan through Ariana Magazine, to see the people, its culture, and so on, and they've loved it. They've been like, wow, I never knew Afghanistan had such and such people, such and such culture, such and such history. It's amazing, and it's also connected them to such people to connect with, and it's been great. I've received lots of feedback and lots of positive feedback from them, and I'm great. I was able to contribute to the vision of Afghanistan. And I hope to continue doing that, to show that Afghanistan is much more than war, and it has such beautiful, rich culture and history. And
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you know, the fact that you've been able to change perspective and people's minds, because obviously, as you know, in the news, we're mostly like portrayed in a very negative aspect when we've got so much more good things. But unfortunately, it's not showcased enough, you know, in the media. All you just see is negativity, which is a real shame. But
yeah.
it is what it is, unfortunately. But then thankfully we have people like you that wants to showcase it in a positive way. So, and I think it should keep going, you know. I think more Afghans should try and head towards that, especially during these times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But talking of charity, on the 1st of September, you organized an Afghan cultural event, and you did that with Bejanjan Neiromand. And how well do you think the event went? Do you think you achieved the aim that you wanted with showcasing this event?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It was great. Me and Beja and John organized that Ariana Magazine in association with A&B Films Afghan Cultural Charity event on the 1st of September. We had live singers like Tawab Jawed, Shabir Qureshi. We had Rubab performance. We had a performance. We had fashion shows to display the Afghan culture. We had guest speakers like Deva Patang, spoke about her story as a businesswoman, as a successful businesswoman. And we had Afghan food there as well. And we raised money for the less fortunate in Afghanistan. And alhamdulillah, we raised over £10,000, and we provided people in Afghanistan with food packs with essentials such as flour, oil, sugar, and much more. And I think the event went very successful, alhamdulillah. We got lots of positive feedback. People, especially during these times in Afghanistan where it's very uncertain and it's very hard for everyone. It was a great time for everyone to unite, Afghans and non-Afghans, under one roof, that we're there for each other, especially during these hard times, that we're there for each other and we can help each other and support each other and be there for each other, because we are the future of Afghanistan. And if we don't do anything, nothing will be done.
In this event, we plan to help the less fortunate in Afghanistan, to provide them with food packs with essentials. We also want to keep the Afghan culture alive and preserve it, because that is at stake.
I'm an Afghan. We are an Afghan. We're all one. We're all equal.
فرهنگ و هنرم ای قامت تناور پربار کشورم.
I have not lost hope, and the reason is you guys.
در لندن اتری یک محفل دیگه من ندیده بودم.
And it was great to be united and to display the Afghan culture as well through the events, through the rubab, through the atan, the national dance of Afghanistan, and so on. So we received a lot of positive feedback, shukr, and people are expecting and want another event. So inshallah, hopefully we have another event.
So after this success, I'm guessing we should expect more charitable events or events like this from Ariana Magazine. Yeah?
Inshallah, hopefully, let's see.
So, how important do you think it is to have such cultural events, especially for those that are away from Afghanistan and are living in the West like us?
I think it's very important to have Afghan culture charity events for Afghans as well as non-Afghans, like Ariana Magazine as well. There have been people who reached out to me saying that I didn't, I'm from Afghanistan, but I've never been to Afghanistan. So this provided me light to Afghanistan and my culture. So likewise, Afghan cultural charity events or Afghan events in general are really important to have and to be held in Western countries or countries outside of Afghanistan, because we need to be united more than ever, non-Afghans as well as Afghans, to see the culture, to also raise money for the less fortunate, or to showcase the Afghan culture, whatever the purpose of the event is, but to be united, because everyone is busy in their schedule, or everyone is busy in their life, and they're also far away from Afghanistan. So these events provide a way to be united under one room, and to feel like you're in Afghanistan, to have that hope of a better Afghanistan, to hold tight to the culture of Afghanistan as well.
Yeah, make sure that it's there and it's not dying down, because obviously, you know, we can't be in Afghanistan, but it's important to keep that culture alive. How long do you think you'll continue with Ariana Magazine? How long do you think you'll continue with the issue? How many more magazines do you want to publish? What's the plan?
I continue to keep on publishing. At the moment, I've published every 2 months. So let's see, inshallah, hopefully I can continue publishing every 2 months or every so months, inshallah. So I hope to continue Ariana Magazine in whatever way I am able to, through social media, through the magazines, through interviews, like I said, or events. So I hope Ariana Magazine will continue, inshallah, in whatever format it is. Bakhair.
Bakhair washa. So, who would you credit for the success that you've obtained throughout your time?
Alhamdulillah, my family have always been supportive. My mother John, my mother, my padar John, my father, my siblings, my close friends, my wider family, as well as my supporters through Instagram, social media, Facebook. So I credit everyone, alhamdulillah, each person who has supported me. Even you have supported me, alhamdulillah. Thank you as well. I thank everyone who have supported me through my journey.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for giving me this time and giving me this opportunity. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana John. Tashakkur Yak Jahan. I really, really appreciate your support as always. You've been very, and thank you for always contributing to Ariana Magazine as well.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
No problem.
A car bomb has killed at least 20 people and has injured around 150 in Afghanistan. Gunmen kill at least 35 students at Kabul University. At least 17 killed in a hospital maternity ward attack. Afghanistan celebrates Cricket World Cup qualification. Rahula Nikpar wins first Afghanistan Olympic medal at Beijing 2008. After 40 years of war, Afghanistan is free from any conflict. Explore the beautiful side of Afghanistan with Ariana Magazine.